Hey guys. I'm a little loco. Okay. So, two things. Got the music off. I'm not sick. The word is exhausted. I am very, very exhausted. Being out of town all week took it out of me. But I've been trying to make like a conscious effort to stream a little bit more. So I got my tea, my sleepy time melatonin tea, and I'm gonna wind down for the evening and talk to you guys, and we're gonna react to some shit that Lazy sent me in chat. No scuff, not today. At least I'm gonna try hard not to. Existing is exhausting. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not doing a good job. I'm trying. Okay, so the first one is actually one that I wanted to watch. About... Well, here, I guess I can share my screen while I'm talking about it. So if I go to window capture... Can you guys see it without me clicking on it? Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So, I wanted to start with something about Pokemon. Chilling with the mall contents. What is that? What does that mean? Oh, sorry, I'm way too close to the mic. There we go. So this is a guy, Pyro Live. I don't know if any of y'all watch his shit, but I started watching him recently. I like him. So this is him talking about the new Pokemon. And I haven't watched it yet, so we're watching it together. And here we go. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. I don't think you can. Let me see. Oh, desktop audio maybe. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. So you guys just need to let me know. A person who is dissatisfied and rebellious. Oh yeah, that's me. That's me. Or y'all. It's one of us. I put honey in my tea this time. I don't normally do that. But I got the cutest little thing of tea. It's like the little tiniest, cutest little teddy bear. It's like an inch tall. And I told myself if I bought it, I had to use it. So I'm using it. Alright guys, you ready? And let me know if it's too loud. You guys can hear it, right? No audio for realsies? Are y'all fucking with me or y'all being for real? So it's definitely showing audio through the desktop. Well, I guess I can do it the way I normally do it, though. We can do it this way. We can do it this way. Properties, and we'll just do it from YouTube in general. And let's see if that fixes it.
A completely missing texture for a number of seconds before it gradually loads
Yeah,
in.
pyrotechnical, yes.
The balcony of that window is just the texture.
I'm walking around
damn
the same
wind.
city for the 100th time.
I thought I just didn't play it long enough. Can y'all hear it now, though?
I can't in good faith recommend anybody buy this game.
Fixed,
Now,
okay.
I understand that the market right now for video games is pretty rough. That's one of the main reasons why video games that are free will always be more popular than anything else. I mean, I'm sure many of you would rather be playing Fortnite or Roblox as opposed to Family Guy the video game on the original Xbox. And I could never think of a more expensive video game franchise than Pokemon. I get it, a lot of games that you've probably played, they've got the microtransactions, but Pokemon, I will never understand. They will release the most mid entries imaginable that barely run. They look like a PowerPoint presentation, but still the community will lap it up. And at the time of recording, a new Pokemon game is coming out, and it's apparently the most expensive Pokemon game to date. I'll be honest, to any of you that own like a Switch or a Switch 2, I genuinely feel sorry for you. You will have a game that is 7 years old, and they will still charge you $50 for it. I mean, half a year ago, the news actually broke out regarding the Switch 2 that some of the games on there could cost upwards of $80. And then for a physical version, for the 7 people that still care about that, it'd be $90. That is...
I paid $90 for Mario Kart World, which I know is crazy. People don't buy a game, they're buying the brand. For sure. For sure.
On top of buying a console that is £400. And then also not to include as well the online membership, which is around £18 a year. Although that as well can go up to upwards of
I know
60.
I'm insane, Wind. But I really liked Mario Kart. I obviously didn't like this one as much. But Mario Kart 8, I played the fuck out of. But yeah, I spent way too much money. And I like my Switch too. Don't get me wrong. But it's not much different than my Switch. I paid $0 because I didn't buy it. That was the smart move, honestly, Walrus.
Pounds. And look, I get it, all right? The console market, it's absolutely washed. Honestly, if you want to blame anyone right now, you blame Microsoft. Because Microsoft were the first people to invent Xbox Live, a paid online service to, you know, talk to more people, game with more people. And then Sony saw that it was normalized, they copied it, and Nintendo obviously followed suit. But I am going to leave Xbox.
It's completely different. There's a 2 next to it. You're right, Walrus. How could I overlook that? Okay, his complaint about the price for online is insane since Nintendo Online is the cheapest of the console online prices. Is it though? Because like there's 2 different onlines. You have the online that's just like the regular online, and then you have the online that allows you to have like the retro games, and that one's kind of expensive. I guess I wouldn't know. Because the only one I ever paid for outside of Nintendo is Xbox Live. Or not Xbox Live, fuck. Xbox Game Pass. And it was pretty cheap until recently. So I guess that's a fair argument, Wind.
Out of this video mostly because they have no games. They have negative games. They remove games from the library. I always make this joke that, like, you know, PS5 has no games. Xbox has negative games. Now, I'm sure you've already seen the critical video where he said that he's outright refusing to buy the new Pokemon game, which is ZA. And if you want to buy that game on the Switch, it is £60. And already there is a £30 DLC for the game. And keep in mind as well, this is a game that will take you around like 20 hours to complete. And
15 a month compared to 20 a year. Are you saying that? Oh, you're saying that are you saying Nintendo's only 50? Oh, you're saying Nintendo's $15 a month, so it's more expensive. I got you. That is 16 a year compared to 15 a month. So I think that I don't think it's 20 a year. I don't think that's correct. I'm pretty sure I pay like a monthly subscription for it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
that number is taken from professional gaming journalists like IGN, so it's probably a bit less than that. And the thing is as well, technically, this isn't even a mainline Pokemon entry. It's kind of a spin-off, if anything. Like, could you imagine? Okay, so GTA 6, right? That's going to cost all of us a lot of money. You're still going to buy it. You're probably going to buy it on console, and then you're going to buy it on PC 2 years later, you degenerate. But could you imagine instead if Rockstar, instead of announcing GTA 6, they announced like GTA Chinatown Wars 2, that game that was on the DS, and then they're charging you £60 for it? Now, for such an egregiously expensive game, you would think, okay, wait a minute. Surely the game itself is actually good. Well, at the minute, I've seen from the public consensus that there is no way in hell I'm dropping upwards of £500 to play a Pokemon game. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's part and parcel with Pokemon games. Choppy frame rate, the camera staggering very frequently, and even like playing some moves in battle just causes the frames to absolutely dip. Now, from what I've seen, they've actually changed the battle mechanics, which do look, you know, to be fair, a lot better than the original turn-based.
Now, I have heard that the battle mechanics of this game are pretty, like, balanced in a good way. So, That's a positive, right?
system they've been running since, like, I don't know, the 90s. Instead of using PP, that's the actual name, by the way. I'm sure no correlation to prestige points in Dead Rising. But instead of that system, they now have a cooldown system. If anything, this reminds me of the combat system from Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. And ironically, it has a much better take on creatures battling each other than Pokemon ever did. I mean, let's be real. Do Pokemon even need to try anymore? Do Game Freak even need to try? No, because Pokemon is now more popular than ever, thanks to scalpers that will go into any kind of supermarket.
Y'all know I completely forget about that portion. Oh, hold on one second. Hey, I'm streaming. Streaming.
You're doing okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can I call you back?
Ticket.
Okay. Oh, hold on one second. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna mute y'all for a second. Sorry. Okay. Y'all there? By the way, I knew it wasn't muted at the beginning. Whenever I tell her I'm streaming, she knows not to say anything that would jeopardize my identity or dox me. She's close. But yeah. Anyways. Did you open Mix It Up? Yeah, I have Mix It Up open. Are the redeems not working? Oh, it has an update. Hold on. Will that prevent it from working? Let me see. What if I just say no? Oh, I hadn't logged in yet. My bad. Alright, let me check. Don't anybody do it because I don't want you to waste your points. I'll give them back. Let's see. Okay, they're working now. They're working now. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all ready? Oh, why Tink get... Oh, Tink probably wanted to be timed out, huh? That's hilarious.
And buy every single new release deck, sit on it, and hoping they can make $5 profit in 20 years.
But yeah, what I was going to say before I got that call is I forget that Pokemon trading cards is like a whole other thing. Like, I always just think of the video games. And, I forget that that's also a thing. I'm stuck at the NCSU campus in the dark, and the fucking Wolfline buses are taking their sweet-ass time. Well, you got us. You got us to keep you company. We'll kick some ass if we got to. He likes to ask for a mod and uses it to be timed out as a bit that he does. That's hilarious. I think of the anime Touche. Touche. Pokemon trading cards is a whole other beast entirely. Yeah, I've never understood it, to be honest. Like, I don't see the appeal. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't hate on people that do them. Like, do your thing. You know, like, I support all the nerd shit. But I don't get it. The closest I got to understanding any type of cards was Magic the Gathering.
Now, with that positive thing said, which is not really that positive, to be fair, people are saying the gameplay...
I feel like some of their games should be up longer. Oh my god. Who is lazy? Excuse me. He probably really wants to choke me because I messaged him right before stream and I was like, hey, can you send me some videos? And he's like, I thought you were playing Pokemon. I was like, well, I was, but then I changed my mind last minute because I'm tired and I don't want to play. I just want to yap and drink my tea. And hear y'all give y'all's opinions on this stuff. I like gacha games. People like collecting PNGs. Okay. I could see that. Totally.
Is just
Immeasurably
it's
cheaper
boring.
to play online.
And
I
get
believe
it. You've
that.
got this franchise
Because that's like
where
the same thing with like Magic and D&D, right? It's gambling. I love gambling.
people go out in the woods and they throw a funny ball and they catch
Head
the
empty
funny
is
animal.
crazy
and
lazy.
there's not really too many variations you
Did
can
you
do on
boot
that.
me?
But again,
Yeah, the
compared to
boot needs to be
previous
up
games,
longer.
there is little to no change in how, for example, you traverse the world. Now, the game itself, like any open world Bethesda sandbox, is littered with like the most boring side quests imaginable. And I think it's very safe to say here, if this wasn't a Pokemon game, no one would care. No one would buy this. It is basically a game that is just sat entirely on the Pokemon brand. Now, a lot of worries the Nintendo community had when the game was announced, apart from realizing that they might have to
Bakugan?
release their house just to buy a Switch 2,
Ba-
was the fact that
Bakugan?
Pokemon
What is that?
PA basically only
Did I
seems
say
to
it
really take
right?
place
Or are those two different
inside
things?
one single city.
D&D is immeasurably
This is
cheaper, only like
Lumio
50%
City,
cheaper
and
unless you're a
honestly,
dice
I mean,
goblin.
I don't really see that much of a problem with it. I mean, a great example here, right,
I
is
just
a game I've been
realized
sweating
you
recently,
fucking realized you're
Dying
watching
Light the Beast.
Pyrotechnical.
I know
Do y'all
that's
like him or
nothing
no?
compared to Pokemon, like, at all. But in that game,
You also
there
save
was
on gas.
only really one town, and it was incredibly small. It was densely packed. There was a lot to do, a lot of side content, but it was small. And then I kind of thought to myself, where's the biggest city? Where's like the parkour? But that wasn't the point
am a
of
dice
Dying Light the
goblin.
Beast. It was basically trying to replicate Dying Light the Following, the DLC of the
I like it,
original
and the
game,
internet doesn't.
where that was more vehicle based, and also it was kind
That's
of more
unfortunate,
like
'cause I do
open
like him as
plains
well.
areas. And honestly, Dying Light the Beast was an
I watched him
amazing
do
game.
something
Dying Light
about
1,
some
I
drama
love. The
content.
Beast, I love. Dying Light 2.
Oh, that Asmongold,
I honestly never got around to finishing that game.
Hassan
Apparently, most people
podcast
never did
saga.
as well. But again, if you have smaller environments that are more kind of compact and there's more going on, that's not really a bad thing. Okay, here's another example I can think of, right? Fear and Hunger, right? It's got a sequel called Fear and Hunger Termina. And that takes place mostly within this city called Prehiville. But the differences between Termina and the new Pokemon game is the city of Luminos is not interesting to explore at all. Now, I get it. Comparing Fear and Hunger and Pokemon, it sounds like a bit of a cope. It definitely is a cope. I'm just trying to somehow shoehorn this into the video. But a good example with Luminos is pretty much all the buildings. You can't really
So,
go
like,
into any of them.
not even
and for a
joking,
city that
The
wipes
first
out
time
a
I
good
watched this, like the
95% of
gameplay on it, I thought
exploration,
that
again, in Fear and Hunger
my
Termina,
screen hadn't
in
picked up
Dying Light the
on,
Beast,
like,
I get it.
bit
They are
rate.
not the same games at all, but they still
I
have
thought
like
that it
very
hadn't
kind of
filled up the
small,
resolution. I
compact
was like, there's
towns,
no
and
way
there
there's
was
a
so much
2025
to do
game
in those areas.
that
They
looks
weren't
like
just
that.
empty buildings for the sake of it. Now, they do have these small areas in the new Pokemon game called Wild Zones, and players can explore those if they want like a break from the city. But again, these areas are incredibly small, and there's really not much going on there.
Ember's
According
cute.
to one player as well, you can actually run around the circumference of the entire map in less than 7 minutes. Again, I'm not trying to make the argument that because the game isn't bigger, more inflated, you could say, that it's bad. I mean, I prefer much more kind of like linear, tight, compact experiences. But it's like you've got the worst of both worlds. You've got a small area and there's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
And so what you're left with is the main city where like nothing happens.
I think that's something I
mean,
really
you can
liked
see
about
footage here,
Arceus
there
is that
zero
you had
exploration
so
to be
many
done here.
areas you could
and
go.
this isn't
You know,
me
you
like
had so much
attacking the art
freedom.
style or anything. I get it. You know, it's a Pokemon game. So the graphics are just meh. It looks like a game that was released in 2014 or a like very high-end mobile game. But again, there is such a lack of depth in the world here. I mean, everything here just looks incredibly flat and boring. Now, I did also see some people attack Game Freak for having yet another Pokemon game with no voice acting. But honestly, I think that's just standard at this point. It's the same as like the Zelda games. They'll have like, you know, 7 lines of spoken dialogue in the entire game. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, for example, Fortnite is so successful. Most of their trailers have no voice acting because, again, you'll need to regionalize it to English, Spanish, Chinese. Like there's so many different languages, and that's so like That takes an incredible amount of time and money. So that's why, you know, the meta right now, if you want your game to be successful, have characters that say absolutely nothing or just text appears on screen.
Yeah.
Another thing I've seen a lot of people complain about is the story. Again, if you're paying £60
Flat and boring is
for
the
a
name of
Pokemon
Nora
game's
biography.
lore and
Listen
story,
here.
that's kind of on
It's
you. I have
true.
never seen anyone break down Pokemon's lore and find anything remotely interesting there. I mean, honestly, what they should do at this point is make a Pokemon game where you're sat in a shopping center fighting off scalpers. That would have some amazing lore. You know, in every Pokemon game, you'll play some random trainer that wants to collect all the badges, or he's got like a family member or a friend that he has a competition with. They also might want to stop any kind of like bad team, some kind of offshoot of Team Rocket that wants to, you know, stop the Pokemon or
Walrus.
control them and then become the king of the Pokemon, you know, whatever. Honestly,
I do
out of
get it for the
anything I've
language
seen,
thing,
the
though.
deepest lore I've ever seen in the Pokemon
It does seem a
franchise is
little,
probably
like-
the Pokemon movie with Mewtwo in it. Again, it's never been
don't
like
know.
the most cutting-edge narrative in gaming. It's usually a very
Slimy,
basic
I
story
guess.
that can push copies, that teaches, you know, about like the importance of friendship or like perseverance. But in Pokemon Legends ZA, this could not be further from the truth. So there isn't an insane amount of coverage on the story so far, but from what I gathered,
I'm just glad
you're
they didn't
basically
use
working
AI.
for like a loan
You know?
shark syndicate
They
to
get
pay
points
off
for
your
that.
debt. And this debt was placed on your leader through pretty much scamming people. It was also added as well that this debt apparently has an interest of 1,000% a week. So basically,
Holy
any
shit.
American healthcare imaginable. And to pay it off, you basically give up your life for them to work with them for an
Oh my gosh.
unspecified amount of time.
Excuse me.
Now, before you type in the comments,
me,
I
lazy.
get it. You know, Pokemon has had some pretty bad villains before, but apparently these are the good guys now. I mean, to be fair, let's be real. Like, having Nintendo design debt collectors
The
to be the good
corporation
guys,
undoubtedly used AI, you think
that's
so?
definitely some dramatic irony there. I know I've gone on this rant before, but if anything, it reminds me of when Nintendo
wanna
tried
take a
to
sip of
start
my
this
tea. It looks
bizarre
like I'm, like,
MCN
thinking
where,
of
like,
something
if you
smart-ass
played
to
their
say.
games,
I'm
they
not
would
dumb,
like claim
bitch.
your videos, even though you're basically giving
I'm
them free
not
promotion,
dumb.
and you'd have to join like a Nintendo program to get like a slither of that
I'm not
ad revenue
smart.
back from a game that you covered.
Different.
I mean, I've made this point before, but for example,
the
Video
way.
Game
Thank you for
Donkey
the
is
way,
Nintendo's
boys.
biggest
Thank you.
gobbler. Like, even he was like copyright claimed by Nintendo when he was like covering Super Mario Odyssey years ago, just because he wasn't part of that program. Thankfully, that program now, it was shut down, put into cold storage. What a terrible idea. I think the biggest
Potato,
problem with this new
potato.
Pokemon game being so like painfully
saying
mid
potato,
and just
potato?
acceptable at best is like, it's not like they've had a good track record of these amazing games and this is the big flopper. This is just like part and parcel for normal Pokemon now. Now, allow me to do something incredibly embarrassing here and unleash my inner unk, but back in my day, when they had Pokemon on the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy SP with the little flip screen, back then, Pokemon was peak. You know, even back then as well, you had like the anime, you had the films, obviously the trading cards. We still have the trading cards, but they're mostly owned by scalpers now. And at that point, they could basically get away with selling like 2 or 3 versions of the exact same game. Like the, you know, the original games that I played as a kid. You had like Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and they pretty much were the same game. It was just like the starting Pokemon was different. That was it. But because the games were so good back then and they stood out so much, some people would sweat it and they would buy every single version. And then on
See,
top of that
that's
as
what I
well,
wish
like
they
I
would have
mentioned with the
done
colored
with
versions, you had,
Arceus,
like,
is
Blue,
they
which,
redid
you know,
the
had,
same
like, bug
game.
fixes and stuff and actually improved on the original games. Mostly because back then you didn't really have like, you know, day one patches that are 60 gigabytes. And Pokemon
I'm curious
itself
to
is an
how text-to-speech
enormous,
responds to
like,
emotes. Oh, that's
monolithic
hilarious.
brand at the minute. But unfortunately,
I wish
it
they
does
would've
seem,
redone
especially in the
Arceus,
games
but
department,
with-
they've got incredibly just complicit and just very lazy with their
With,
games.
like,
The amount of
new
times I've
starters,
seen someone
you
play
know?
any kind of Pokemon game on the Switch and it just runs at like 7 frames a second. I mean, for example, going back to Scarlet and Violet, that was a buggy mess on release. A lot of fans also felt let down by Pokemon Sword and Shield. But there were other games like Sun and Moon, which had kind of a mixed reception, but generally more positive. Meaning that the last mainline
It just says them out
Pokemon
loud,
game
yeah.
entry that was actually loved came out in 2016, nearly 10 years ago. There's even a large chunk of the fan base that think that Pokemon just entirely fell off
I
when they
have
transitioned
Sword.
from 2D games to
Sword,
3D games.
Shield, whatever.
And that was all the way
I have
back in
that one, I think, too.
2013. Now, I
But I've
do
never
have to
played
admit
it.
the elephant in the room. A lot of people that don't like Pokemon at the minute, they are a mix of Redditors and nostalgia merchants. The new thing is le bad, because I did not grow up with that. Old thing good, new thing, le bad. And I do understand that argument. Unfortunately, like, it has kind of
Nora
infected
runs
my
at like
opinions
7
on
frames
certain
per
things as
second
well.
IRL. I
But
fucking do,
these
though.
criticisms towards the mainline Pokemon games, they don't always come from just complete
Legends
blind
feels like it's gonna be,
nostalgia.
here's your
I mean, for
introduction to
example, like
new
graphically, I know graphics
mechanic,
aren't
it's
really
single
a
player
big
setting,
thing with games.
then
Like, if
they
they're
added
enjoyable,
a
it's
rank
fine.
mode to
But
V8,
the
so that
graphics
went out
have
the
been
window. Yeah,
consistently
pretty
ugly and
much.
outdated in recent years.
Oh,
And you
shield,
can't
but I
even
beat the main
cope saying
story
that
and
it's like
quit.
running on a Nintendo
Damn.
Switch, which I guess has like less processing power than most mainline consoles and a PC. Because if you apply that cope, you'll see games like Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and those were games that ran on the Switch, not at the best frame rate imaginable, but they still looked really good because they
I
actually
thought those
had
games looked
a
really good.
consistent style there. I mean, why do you think now there's been a huge
Now, Tears of the
resurgence in
Kingdom,
indie
I
scene
liked
of
more
people
than
that are
Breath
just,
of the
like, playing,
Wild,
you
and I don't know if that's a
their
hot take or
PS1
not,
graphics
but
games,
that's how I
because
feel.
like there is nostalgia there, but it's been stylized enough to actually look good without having to use Unreal Engine 5 again. And you play the game for 7 minutes and it crashes 9 times. I mean, you are always going to have this problem where it's like, if people buy a product, the people that make the product will not see anything wrong with it and they'll just keep producing it.
Yep.
And that's the problem at the minute. I'm not going to, sit on my
That's an
expensive
ice cold take
Herman
from what I've
Miller
seen,
chair,
really.
sat here and
no,
tell
I
you, do
like
not
Tears
buy
of
the
the
new
Kingdom
Pokemon
more.
game. Do not do it. I mean, if you enjoy Pokemon, sure, power to you.
I didn't finish
But
either, 'cause again,
personally,
puzzles
I
are not my
cannot
thing,
see that as
but-
a game that is worth spending £60 on in any capacity. I mean, a great example here is actually the post-game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, or the, complete lack of it. A lot of people want to buy a game, they want to beat it, and then they want to keep playing the game. It's not like you've just paid £60
yeah, that doesn't sound
and then
fun,
you've been like,
Walrus.
okay, that's it. I just wait now for the new Pokemon game to come out. A lot of people do sweat games once they complete it, either doing like a new game on a harder difficulty, or I guess like a new game plus mode, which has become incredibly popular in the past 10 years. I mean, for example, you've got like Pokemon Gold and Silver, and once you beat the Elite Four and became Pokemon Master, you can then go back to Kanto, which is the region that the first game is set in. And then you can beat all the gyms from the first game, but now they're actually scaled up to face you on a higher level. Again,
Oh, that's
like
cool.
kind of rewarding you with a bigger challenge. You can refight the Elite Four of the first game and then even go ahead and fight Red, who is actually your character from the very first game. But post-game
You got the
now
DLC,
seems
but
to
you
be
lost
just
interest? Damn.
battling
Oh, you said
other
there is a
people,
DLC, but
catching
you didn't get it.
Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Great, I get to sit in a field
There's people
and
looking at
wait
Tears of the
5
Kingdom
hours for
as
a
a
shiny
$70
Pokemon to
DLC for
appear
Breath
so I
of the
can
Wild,
show
which I kinda
5
get. Definitely
people
shouldn't
on my
have been
Discord
more than
server.
Breath of the
I'm going to make a
Wild.
very brave statement
most
here,
of the
okay?
work was already
When
done. Like,
slop
Kalani DLC is
slop,
disingenuous at best.
unsurprisingly, it's slop.
I mean, I could see that.
No one cares. I mean,
I just-
a great
I like
example, War
the
of the
gameplay
Worlds.
more.
That film, oh my god,
And
that
maybe
was
I just
absolute
evolved
slop.
as a
But that was,
gamer
like,
at that point,
fully
and that's
slop. That
why,
wasn't like a
but-
franchise that people cared about for decades
fucked
and
with
they
Tears
grew
of
up
the
with,
Kingdom.
and then they felt betrayed when it was just absolutely abysmal. So yeah, I'd like to thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If any of you
Lack
think
of
I'm
funds,
a
Lawrence.
grifter and a fake Pokemon fan, I actually have a PSA 10 Guzzlord that I bought for $20. So now you know. Now you know.
All right. So I have some that Lazy's queued up for us. Everybody thank Lazy in the chat. Make sure I pause this. Okay. Alright, this is why these fish belong in a horror movie. What the fuck was that?
Gostei assim, amostradinho.
You know, the
Lazy
greatest
hogs the
trick
video
Hollywood
queue.
ever
He
pulled
does
was
hog the
convincing
video
the world
queue.
that sharks are the only things to fear in the water. There be
He's got good videos though,
monsters.
so.
In the last video, we talked about how sharks might just be the most misunderstood creatures in nature, with a
But
PR
he's just
team
a
that works about as hard
baby.
as a whiteout's brain after 6 rounds of
Just a
CTE.
baby.
They've been done so dirty, they've actually overshadowed the other ichthyological insanity spawned from
Lazy.
Satan's septic tank. These are 7 fish that should honestly terrify you more than any shark. This isn't really to substitute one fear for another, but I do think these fish can make a much more traumatizing nightmare.
Y'all fuck off with that. That fish really does that? Hold on. Time out.
Substitute one fear for another.
The absolute fuck. Oh my god. Gross. I'm gonna have nightmares. Okay, welcome to why going into the water is scary. Yes, literally. This is why I don't play underwater games. It's because of shit like this. Nora, look up Bakugami Enhance. Now Five Hat was a Japanese toy anime franchise with teeth. Really? What the fuck? What are we talking about? All right, hold on. I will soon.
Another, but I do think these fish could make a much
Move the
more
mic back. Thank you,
traumatizing,
sorry.
nightmare-inducing horror
I'm
flick
leaned
than
in 'cause
Jaws.
I'm drinking my tea.
And it starts right here. Those eyes belong to a pair of Arapaimas, also known as a Piraruku. You've definitely seen them before.
Never understood old people in the profession where the folks die young. Oh my
Does this
god.
video ring a bell? It definitely rang his.
Absolutely
It's one of the
not.
biggest freshwater middle fingers nature forgot to vault, usually growing to over 6 feet long and 200-something pounds. It's bad enough those are NBA point guard measurements, but the beefiest ones can get to 10 feet in length and weigh over 400 pounds.
No.
This Jurassic Roid guppy
No.
usually eats other fish to go with fruits and seeds, but also birds and allegedly even monkeys sitting on branches
Is he gonna
too
try
close
to eat
to
that
water.
chicken?
If you don't
No.
believe that, it's because you haven't seen them hunt. They're explosively quick, and the aquatic black hole has
motherfucker
been
just
known to
ate a
confuse feet
chicken?
for fish and violently pull people underwater.
Oh
One
my God.
zookeeper reportedly made the mistake of trying to retrieve a glove that had fallen into an Arapaima pool, and in a split second got his hand, wrist, and several fingers broken. There's also the fact that a refrigerator-sized fish will yeet themselves out of water in self-defense. And let's talk about that defense. The plus-size biche is covered in heavily armored scales, not only tough enough to tank piranha attacks, locals historically use them as nail files. They've also used their tongues as scrapers, since these fish have teeth growing out of a bony tongue that can be used to effectively crush struggling prey against the
I fucking hate this. Like, look. Ugh.
for their mouths. You know nature got in its bag when it made a fish that can breathe air, and the Antichrist of the Amazon has a modified swim bladder that was repurposed as lungs, meaning this flex of a fish can survive 24 hours out of water. On one hand, that means they have to come up for air every 20 minutes or suffer the eternal shame of being a fish that finds a way to drown. But it also works out for them because in low oxygen water where most fish become slow and sluggish, the air merchant menace can pretty much go on a killing streak. Now the question is, could an Arapaima pack up a person?
Nope,
While there's no
nope,
indication
nope,
they see
nope,
us as a
nope,
snack,
nope,
there are
nope,
old stories
no,
of high-strung assault
no.
guppies effectively
Chat,
drowning
no.
people, likely by knocking them unconscious and leaving them incapacitated underwater. Not him, he's fine. You can unclench guidelines, he's good. But one man that almost wasn't was Jeremy Wade. He probably needs no introduction, but long story short, he's a zoologist who hosted the show River Monsters, which ended, but only because he caught every fish nature had to offer. But he almost caught an early life retirement after a pissed off Paima struck him square in the chest and nearly caused irreversible damage to his heart.
Oh my
Not only did
gosh.
this fish nearly have us singing,
Oh my gosh.
the suspect wasn't more than 90 pounds. Remember, the overachievers can press the scales at 400 or, 180 kilograms worth of kill a man. So yeah, the Arapaima is a shack-sized, air-breathing, armor-plated predatory vacuum, and strangely enough, it's not the fish I'm most scared of in the Amazon. But we'll get to that. The piranha actually
They're kind of cute though, in a like scary way. But like, look at little cute eyeballs. Like he just looks excited, right? He looks excited. Like, oh my god, Becky, I haven't seen you in forever. Like just ecstatic, you know?
isn't. If you remember from an earlier video, piranhas might be just as misunderstood
You're
as
excited.
sharks. They're mostly just scavenging opportunists that our childhoods convinced us were way more of an
He
issue.
said,
You cannot
flesh.
say the same for their cousins found in the Congo basin of Central Africa. The Goliath tigerfish
That one's not cute. The other one was cute. That one not cute.
can grow to nearly 5 feet long, over 100 pounds, and they're what people were told
That one's cute. Is that the baby version of that one? Because that one kind of, look at him. He look mischievous. He like, you don't know what I do. I don't know. The more I look at him, the more fucking scary he looks. I don't know. I take it back. I don't know if he's cute.
piranhas are times 10. They're in the same order, but where piranhas are primarily a swimming cleanup crew, tigerfish actively hunt for their bodies. And you'll find out, nature built this prehistoric problem to do exactly that. They have sharp dagger-like teeth that many swear are comparable to that of a great white. Although I personally see them as more conical, like a crocodile, which is a coincidence since the saltwater variety are their only natural predators. But of course, the swimming expletive has also been known to murk smaller crocs. They have eerily strong eyesight to track prey, special organs to detect the vibrations they make underwater, and they're strong enough to brute force their way through the turbulent waters of their hunting grounds.
Could you imagine fishing and pulling that fucking thing out of the water? I would pass out. I would literally pass out.
They're considered one of the toughest freshwater fish time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds, but swallows, some of the fastest and most maneuverable out there. Scientists studying them watched as 300 birds got permanently grounded by tigerfish in just over 2 weeks. They're so feared that in many places they're only known by one name. Benga,
Can you imagine fishing?
meaning
No.
the
No, I can't.
dangerous fish. There's even a story of a young girl
Pretty sure be pulled in the water. Nah, I could catch a fish like that, guys. I totally could. Like, I could reel it in. No problem. I'm super skilled fisherwoman.
wearing a belt made out of bottle caps in order to ward off evil spirits. Ironically, it did the exact opposite and attracted
Ain't he kind of cute, though? I'm back on the cute again. I'm back to thinking he's a cutie. Look at him. Oh my goodness. He wants a little boop.
the tigerfish, who apparently confused the bottle caps for fish scales and nearly bisected the girl. Allegedly. It's an extremely fast, explosive vice grip with almost zero prey prejudice. And I'd still rather take a bite from them than the fish up next. And that's cause next is the Candiru.
Nora will die if she goes in the water by No, I would not. Okay? I'll have you guys know that I've caught fish with my bare hands using McDonald's chicken nuggets. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of y'all already know what road we're going down. The Candiru is a tiny parasite in the Amazon, also nicknamed the vampire fish for their habit of invading the gills of larger fish and scraping the insides to feed off their blood.
No.
And with backward-facing spines and a powerful bite, it's nearly impossible to shake it off before it completes its liquid transaction. The horror comes from the legend of Candiru being attracted to the chemicals in urine and swimming up the
That's the thing. That's the thing that goes up the pee hole. No. No, that's the scariest one to me, y'all. Like that big one, he's scary, but something that can invade my body that's also a vampire? No, hot is crazy.
urethra of unlucky humans and getting stuck up there. A fate that takes surgery to reverse. Imagine a serrated, sentient toothpick in your bathing suit business and you'll see why the violation with gills is so feared. But how much of this is even real? Most of the reports of people getting penetrated by peenfish are really sus at best. Apparently, they're not even attracted to the ammonia in human urine in the first place. There's a good chance that the Candiru controversy came from European settlers coming home from long expeditions and telling these long exaggerated
Or that one 90s movie. This is why you don't pee ever. You just hold your pee forever. What was that one 90s movie? Was it Without a Paddle? I don't feel like that's right. Is it right?
stories to anyone who'd listen for status and attention. Yeah, but basically they were probably lying for clout. You have to remember, the whole piranha skinning a cow thing spawned from locals staging an event to impress the president. The truth is, your chances of peeing in the Amazon and getting frontal probed by a fish are about as much as you getting meal prepped by a shark or getting struck by lightning. Oh my bad, and getting struck by lightning. That being said, I'd rather get tag teamed by the pets of Poseidon and the forces of Zeus than have a bloodluster up my urethra, no frankly.
Yep,
If the
I
odds
agree.
ain't zero, they're just too high for me. But I'll happily take a Candiru to the Mandiru, then run into aquatic op number 4. In fact, I'm so afraid of it, I actually had to break my own rule for this video. The Humboldt squid obviously isn't a fish, but it's the closest thing to a living nightmare on this list. Let's be clear, at 5 feet, about 100 pounds, there are bigger squid. What sets Humboldts apart is they can hunt in packs of over 1,000.
I know this is really shitty for me to say, but I'm gonna say it. I'm not afraid of anything that tastes good. You know? Like, I'll just make some fucking bomb-ass calamari out of it.
Yeah, that's 3 zeros like a Tony Snell stat line. Nicknamed Diablo Rojo, there are old fisherman tales of men falling overboard, getting swarmed, and never coming back up. There's also
I changed my mind. I feel like I'm not as high on the food chain as he is. He might win.
Also stories of them curiously approaching divers before flipping and trying to rip their masks off. But who needs stories when marine biologist Alex Kirstich can tell you about the time several homicidal squids grabbed him and attempted to drag him down into the dark
Squids.
maw of the abyss. It gets worse when you realize what exactly happens when a red devil decides to take you to hell. Humboldts aren't just highly intelligent, they're covered in tiny red chromatophores that they can use to rapidly change color in order to communicate with each other. It's like Morse code but for Crip and Calamari. We don't know exactly what it means, but there's a good chance if a Humboldt confronts you and starts violently flashing red, it could be telling a bunch of others you can't see that you're free eats. So likely the last thing you'll see is pulsing red before you get eaten alive. It doesn't help that satanic cephalopods are known for speed eating and are notorious for stripping fish to the bones faster than fishermen can reach.
No. I changed my mind. Fuck that thing. Okay? Fuck that. Like, not only can he eat you, but he's gonna give you a light show first, and then he's gonna eat you so fucking fast. Like, that literally sounds like something that someone would tell somebody to keep them out of the water. Like, hey, there's this fucking squid, and he's like as big as you are, and he, you know, throws out some red, and then he eats you to the bone. Like, no. No. This is literally why I do not fuck with the water, y'all. Okay? There are scary things outside of the water, and I will give people that argument. But this is why I don't fuck with like anything underwater. Like, you, even in a game, you got me going underwater. There's shit like that down there. I don't want to fuck with shit like that. In a game, not in a game, I don't want to fuck with it, you know?
Feel them. Add a beak that can easily slice flesh, and a bite force that can reportedly crack bone. And I think you see why I'm not exaggerating when I say I'll deal with every other fish on this list than a pack of predatory color coordinating squid. And I don't care what logic says.
Nobody loves you like Hardee's loves you? What does that mean? Brooke would be immune. He's already boned. That's hilarious.
There's no doubt in my mind this squid would eat a human if they thought they could. Why? Humboldt squid only live about a year. That rapid growth in a short time means they'll rarely pass up an easy meal, even if it's their own
like
kind.
the fast food place.
Humboldts are highly cannibalistic, and they will not hesitate to turn on a weak or injured member of their own hunting party.
Get the fuck out of here. Did y'all see that? If they'll eat each other, they'll eat anything.
There was a study done off the coast of Chile that found that out of over 2,000 squid, more than half held the remains of their own kind in their stomachs.
Chile.
It sounds to me that anything they see as weaker than them is something they can feed off, and the only saving grace for us is they usually only press things smaller than they are. But you don't even have to be seen as food for affiliated squids to be a problem. Like a true xenophobic, they react to most things they don't understand with aggression, and they've even attacked cameras and equipment and left them out of order. But to me, the most disturbing aspect of getting assaulted by squids is, even if you escape, if you panic and surface too fast, you can get the bends and past tense anyway. That type of psychological horror is what puts the Humboldt here, and wouldn't you know, emotional damage is another symptom of finding out about the next fish. Cause now we got the stonefish. Not one of, but the most venomous fish known to man. It's armed with verrucotoxin, and symptoms of getting stung include crippling pain, shock, tissue death, and even paralysis.
Dude,
and speaking of pain, you can be in agony for over 12 hours. And
he looks like the ocean floor. And if you step on him, he's poisonous as fuck. No.
enough of an eternal jihad to cause hallucinations.
Lazy, what the actual fuck? What do you have me watching? I'm literally gonna have nightmares. I'm already taking melatonin. Melatonin already gives me fucking weird dreams. I'm gonna have some fucked up dreams, damn it.
Totally, there have been tourists who've stepped on a stonefish only to beg their doctors to chop off the whole foot. Then there's the added threat of, if you don't get out of the water quick enough, it won't even be the venom. You can get paralyzed and catch a stage fatality to drowning. Even if you survive, you can still suffer permanent nerve damage and severe muscle.
I guess it would be venomous, right? Not poisonous. Poisonous is if you eat it. Venomous is if it eats you.
Atrophy. But that all wouldn't even be that bad if the stonefish wasn't nature's manifestation of a dick move. The most venomous animals on the planet usually dress with bright colors to warn the rest of the population that they're packing. Stonefish decided to do exactly none of that and instead cosplays as a stone. only
Yeah.
to mortally punish you for its camouflage working.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's like having
that's so
invisibility, but also
scary.
serving a death penalty every time someone steps on your foot. Then you gotta add the
No.
fact that there are another fish that can survive
No.
24 hours out of the water.
I thought I started at the top, Lazy. I didn't realize that you were sending them before you yelled at me.
And they have a literal switchblade growing out of their forehead. Yeah, I knew they were a problem ever since one nearly perma-napped Nigel Thornberry. A stone-cloaking toxic minefield of misery, but with stonefish anti-venom being the second most administered in Australia, today if you get stung, your chances of surviving are actually pretty good.
Holding one
Not
of
like
them
the
is
next
crazy
fish, 'cause
to
for
me.
this one, there is no antidote. The stonefish might be the most venomous fish, but the pufferfish is arguably the most poisonous thing
But they're so cute. Aw.
alive. Quick rule of thumb on the difference: if it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you become a wuzz, it's poisonous. And few things are more poisonous than puffer tetrodotoxin, which is 1,200 times more of a death sentence than cyanide. Tetrodotoxin interferes with signals between nerves
Yeah,
and muscles,
trust me,
causing
Walrus,
muscle
I've seen enough
paralysis and a
weird shit
total
that I will never
shutdown.
go there.
And of course, the fugu blowfish is considered a delicacy, but if the chef misses a single cut even by a little, you're instantly on the clock. You won't know that happened.
Could you imagine that? Like, I know people like to thrill seek or whatever, but I don't trust anybody enough to prepare me a fish that could kill me if they prepared it wrong. You know? Like, I'm okay if you misprepare something and maybe I get like a little sick from it. Like, you fucked up, you dropped the ball, I got food poisoning. But to kill me? No. I don't trust anybody that much. You know, like, if you gave me the option, like, never eat again or eat this pufferfish that some random person has prepared for you, I would take my chances with not eating. I'm fat, but I'm not that hungry. Literally, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could be starving. And I'll take my chances starving. Like, get fucked with that.
Until your face goes numb and your lips and tongue get this weird prickling feeling. Then, you'd suddenly get a splitting headache and dizziness to go at vomiting and diarrhea as your body desperately tries to purge the poison. But it's
I'm gonna
already too
call a
late.
bitch,
and you
so I
start
would never
getting
literally
paralyzed,
walrus
starting with the
literally.
hands and feet, but slowly spreading out. And by this point, you likely can't even call for help. Finally, it'd get harder and harder to breathe until you notice the room slowly fade to black, leading to either a coma, seizure, or just death.
Yeah, nope, don't trust nobody, no how, no way that fucking much. I just fucking don't.
The permanent kind. Tetrodotoxin essentially
But look
flips
how
and
cute
kills
he is, little baby! He looks like he would make like a noise, you know, like a little like a little cute little chirp. That's what he looks like. Like you have like a little chirp, like a little. Nothing is as stressful to me as that moment when you're in the turn lane, you're looking at the car across from you, pointing back directly at you, and you have to think to yourself, this motherfucker might not turn. Am I about to run? Yeah, literally, though. I'm one of them people. Some people hate driving with me because I don't trust people that are turning into a road that I'm coming out of. Like, they'll have their fucking turn signal on, and most people will take it because, like, oh, they're fucking turning. I don't even trust people for that. I gotta see your car start turning into the road before I think I have it. And it pisses people off, but, you know, I don't trust people. It is what it is.
switch in your body, and there is no antidote. The
Look
only
how
treatment
cute
is
he
hooking you
is.
up to a respirator to breathe for you and praying it passes. The poison puffball is such a problem, it makes you forget they also have teeth that can bite clean through your finger. In fact,
my
it's
God.
more than enough to violate a scorpion.
Oh
And
my
I don't even
God.
know how to describe what they do to crabs. Turning crustacean into crustacean with a smile, no less. It's criminal. There's
Oh my
nothing funny
gosh.
about getting caught in that bite, with reports of pufferfish mutilating the genitals of men, and one case in 2008 where a Cambodian child had his coin purse sliced in half by a pufferfish. And
Much too
unlike
jumpy, especially when someone else is driving. Yeah. I'm really bad with it. I drove me and Sean up a hill once, like on purpose. There was a cricket in your car and you drove off the road. Yo, I had a fucking big ass spider, okay, on my leg, and I still managed to pull over. I then hopped out of the car and screamed a whole bunch and jumped up and down, but I did make it to the curb safely.
The Candiru, this ain't a myth. Have your privates out by a puffer and you might just get... So that's 6 of the sinister 7, but before we get to the last one, we got honorable mentions. The fact that there's a fish that weaponized electricity enough to decommission a caiman and we just accept that is kinda crazy. And the thing is, it might not even be the voltage, but it's getting knocked out in shallow water that'll
That
get
looks
you.
like a snake.
Swordfish are one of the fastest things in the sea. They also have a built-in melee
gonna
weapon
jump directly
equipped
on me,
capable
panic?
of inflicting
Yeah, no.
life-altering harm. In 2015, a Hawaiian man was fatally struck.
The cricket jumped directly in my face. I thought I had hit the brakes all the way, but apparently I was still rolling slightly. And when I flinched and closed my eyes because of the cricket, we ended up going up a hill and we were just pretty much on our side. That's wild. You got taken out by a cricket? Insane.
In the chest while trying to catch one. Another man
I'm desensitized to crickets though, y'all, because I have, you know, reptiles, so crickets are like a part of my weekly life.
in Malaysia bled to death after a swordfish yeeted itself out of the water and also RNG'd.
I will say, if I'm feeding my animals crickets and one of them escapes and I don't find it, and then he starts singing show tunes with his little legs at like 3 a.m., that shit drives me crazy. Like, that shit would make me run my car off the road just to make him stop doing that.
Him in the chest. Swordfish are also on record shanking sharks and even bleeding out sea turtles. The sheep's head fish. Really only because of that mouth.
What the fuck, man? That thing exists. That thing's got human teeth and then molars.
Trypophobics be damned. The Titan triggerfish is a highly aggressive honey badger with gills capable of dishing out severe injuries with the same teeth they use for crunching coral, sea urchins, and even a crown of thorns starfish.
Alright,
the
that's
trigger
enough of
might as well
this.
be named after their
I've had enough. Oh, we only got a few more minutes. I guess we should finish it.
temper, and this 1.5-foot vibe check is a big reason why beginner divers
Literally,
never go
why does
back
it
in
have
the
human
water.
teeth?
Speaking of big, the Goliath grouper. At 8 feet up to 800 pounds, the fish the size of a small car feels more like a leftover Jurassic prop. Lucky for us, most divers describe it as a gentle giant with the temperament of a St. Bernard. Although a St.
melatonin's doing
Bernard
its
didn't
job.
allegedly swallow an entire
be
kid in
fair.
the Florida Keys. Allegedly. But since we're on the subject, the last fish on this list
I don't think it's any different from me being taken out. The idea. Excuse me. You see what's in that water, okay? All this is in that water. Okay? And you're afraid of a cricket. So, ha.
are catfish. And yeah, that's
Jeez.
kind of cheating. There's over 3,000 species of catfish, even including the genital jihad, the Candiru. Catfish are like the trash compactors of the fish family, which isn't a problem until you see just how big they can really get. And once a catfish gets big enough, there aren't a lot of things alive they won't try to
Touche. Touche. Yes, it's definitely more about what you can't see.
eat. We've seen armadillos, turtles, and even unaware seagulls get bored by a catfish.
Oh my
There's a
gosh.
species in France that figured out how to stalk and hunt bathing city pigeons. Another learned to wait by cave entrances to suck up any exhausted bats that fall in.
Aw.
There was even a catfish nicknamed Kuno the Killer who terrorized a German lake and somehow caught and ate someone's dog. Basically, they're all the shit I've talked
Oh
about
my
pelicans
gosh.
being, just in fish form. The question is, if a catfish has ever eaten a live human, and it isn't even if they would, but if they could. The
The term being live is terrifying.
Wels catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap out at 300 pounds. The Mekong catfish can also get to 10 feet, and the heaviest one ever recorded was pushing 650 pounds. If there's a catfish that could stomach a human, it should be one of these, but there's a slightly smaller catfish that was believed to be a legit man-eater. In the late 90s and early 2000s, a series of fatal attacks on people in the Gully River
A koala?
had people convinced there was something in the water hunting humans. In these attacks, victims were suddenly pulled underwater in front of people, only for their bodies to never be recovered. In 2007, Atal Kumar was swimming with
Dude, I don't fuck with dragonflies either. They bite. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
friends when he was violently dragged underwater, and while he was never seen again,
That doesn't surprise me. They're jerks.
friends caught a glimpse of something
Beautiful jerks.
that they could only describe as an elongated pig. Crocs and bull sharks were considered, but the prime suspect ended up being the goonch. At about over 6
The
feet,
fucking
200
what?
pounds, the goonch is usually smaller than the whales or the makung. But it's feared that the practice of burning funeral pyres by the river led to the equal opportunists developing a taste for human flesh. And while it's a stretch to say a corpse-happy catfish could swallow an adult, it becomes a little less believable with children. There's no solid proof of a catfish catching a person, but they for sure can off one. The biggest ones can easily overpower you, if not just knock you out and drown you. Not to mention a majority are venomous, with those spines putting both experienced fishermen and oblivious bystanders in the hospital. They also have a nasty sandpaper-like bite that can easily draw blood. But what really makes them a living horror movie is their intelligence. The ones packing up pigeons, they weren't always doing that, but they pretty much ate everything else around them and were forced to adjust. So it's anyone's guess what could happen if they gain a taste for humans. And with catfish being swimming tongues with over 175,000 taste buds across their bodies, yeah, I doubt acquiring taste
I thought
takes
the
long.
penguin was
But yeah,
Gunter.
that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, try not to get catfished out here. If you'd like to see me swim with slightly less freaky fish, the full GoPro footage of me in Hawaii will be uploaded to my Patreon.
See, he's crazy. He fucking goes in the water. Absolutely not. Let's do some scary comp.
In the following video, a mother named Aaliyah is recording her daughter who just
I just want to say, I feel like I could do this, because I could do the inflection, right? One night, this little girl was watching television, and something really unexpected happened. And I'll let you see for yourself what you think.
had a night
You
terror.
know, like, they kind of talk like Chills, but with less inflection in their voice.
Aaliyah's daughter has been suffering from night terrors for the past few weeks now, which according to her child's doctor, is a common phase that most children her age experience. But one night, Aaliyah wakes up to find her daughter on her bed, crying intensely than ever before. It seems that she just had the most severe night terror ever. Her night terror was so intense that she ran straight into her mother's room. So, Aaliyah immediately records this video to show her child's doctor. But while recording, this happens.
I'm scared. Scared? Are we scared, baby? Come on here, big girl. Come here, big girl. Come on, big girl. It's okay. There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent pushes the door. You're fine, okay? Are you a big girl? You're scared, just remember.
Yo, I'm so skeptical of this shit. And I know that's not fair with these videos because you have to have an open mind. But I just don't trust anything like this. I just have a hard time with it.
Baby Lenny's here, Mommy's here. We're all gonna be together in the same house. It's gonna be okay. Let's go to bed. What's wrong, Cora? What are you afraid of? You're scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
Just as Aaliyah sees her daughter staring at the shutters, she points the camera that way and captures this. The blinds suddenly closing on their own. But it's not just a few that close up, but rather all 4 shutters at the same time, which is made creepier when listening to the audio closely. It sounds as if someone or something had forcefully shut them. Naturally, they make a run for it and spend the rest of the night inside
Yeah,
Mom's
same.
room. Now the next day, Aaliyah makes a video talking about these shutters. She shows how hard it is for all 4 to close at once unless someone had moved each rod on each window at the same time.
You have to be physically standing by the blinds in order to close them like this. And also, all 4 of them closed at the exact same time. There's not electronic, it's not.
My theory, right? I want to see if because the way that she's showing it, again, because I'm skeptical.
Make a run for it and spend the rest of the night inside Mom's room. Now the next day, not just a few that close up, but rather all 4
Do they go
shutters at
down
the
or
same
up?
time, which is made creepier when listening to the audio closely. It sounds as if someone or something had forcefully
So
shut
they go
them.
up.
Naturally, they make a run for it and spend the rest of the night inside Mom's room.
Yeah,
Now, the
literally
next
too.
day,
Like that's
Aaliyah
also
makes
what
a
like
video
aggravates
talking
me. Is like if you have to defend yourself, like are you overcompensating?
about these shutters. She shows how hard it is for all 4 to close at once unless someone had moved each rod on each window at the same time.
You have to be
pulling it down
physically
does pull it up.
standing by the blinds in order to close them like this. And also, all 4 of them closed at the exact same time. There's not electronic, it's not battery powered, it's
Not me about to look up these windows.
that's not creepy.
Hold on.
Trying my best not to freak out. So, to close these.
Eerily, the door behind Aaliyah starts to move on its own. It happens right as she explains how the shutters work, which is made creepier considering what just happened last night. But that's not even the weirdest part, because later she points out something that makes last night's incident with the moving door even harder to explain.
So, the AC was not on
Yeah, let me see.
when
Images.
the door closed.
Right, so that's what these are. So now
It's very loud. And you can hear it coming from the vent. The air vent could not have pushed this door closed in that other video because the air was not on, the AC was not on.
Now, even with the AC on, the door doesn't close. She was initially wrong for thinking the door had closed because of it.
There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent?
It was
clearly wires tied to the ceiling. I mean, I really do think that that's possible, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, is it powered though? Question. Yeah, see, that's why I'm looking them up now, because I'm like, do they make them battery powered? You know? I'll keep playing it for y'all, but I'm gonna find
never
it.
on to begin with, which she demonstrates by comparing the difference in sound from both clips.
It's okay.
So then,
They
if it
fucking
wasn't
do
the
have
AC,
motorized. They 100% have motorized. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all a video of one. Let me find the one I want to show though, because I want to show one that's pretty similar to what she's currently has in hers. All right, here we go. Check this shit out, y'all. I'm trying to think of the easiest, probably like this. Okay, there we go. So check it out. Motorized plantation shutters. Doesn't that look pretty similar to what she had? Like they're 100% motorized. Like, you can't convince me these are not similar shutters. Like, you can't. I call BS. Hold up.
Hi, I'm Norm Abram. Welcome to the New Yankee Workshop. In the library, but they would also be good in a bathroom or a bedroom. If we take a closer look, they're nicely made. From the outside, a nice clean look. From the inside, you can control the amount of light that comes through with this control bar. And I like the fact that they rabbited the middle so that they would overlap.
Okay, so these
when they
aren't
were
electric,
closed.
but yeah.
And some nice hardware was used. Now, if you like these, that's great. But I got to tell you, they're very expensive, custom made to each window. Now, one way to beat the cost of these is to learn how to make them. And that's what we're going to do today in the new Yankee
No
Workshop.
thanks. I have no interest in making them. I'm sad that we don't get to see a video of this in action. Like, you would think that they'd have, like, some type of promotion that would show how the fuck it works. Oh, here we go. Thank you. This is what I wanted.
Safety through a relentless and considering perfect tilt. We asked some questions. Why do consumers choose motorized shutters? Is it for the convenience, the technology, or is it for something more? Is it a feeling of sophistication?
Y'all, like, not even being funny, this reminds me so much of the South Park commercials. You know what I'm talking about? When they did that whole new area by Kenny's house, and they did like those advertisements for it.
Of subtlety.
That's what this feels like.
Of exuberance. Of being with it. The new Perfect Tilt is all these things and more. Shutter motorization designed
yes.
to work alongside you, not the other way around. Perfectly. With Perfect Tilt.
Yeah, literally the same thing. Like, I feel like that's where they got this from. Okay, anyways, back to people lying about haunted shit in their house.
Then what had moved the door? Like the shutters, this one doesn't make any sense. Although creeped out by all of this, Aaliyah feels oddly relieved knowing that her child's night terrors might not be from nothing, but caused by something else. Currently, she plans to keep her daughter away from this room until she figures out what to do next. But until further updates are given, this video will continue to remain a mystery.
Yeah, no. BS. I call BS. I call BS. Okay.
As always, let me know your thoughts on this one. Now, this next video was recorded by an overnight security guard who works at a cemetery. One night, while doing his rounds, he
It's a
records a
very
video
cute
for his
desk.
brother-in-law
Like a very, very cute desk for a cemetery. Hey, look how cute.
at a cemetery. One night, while doing his rounds, he records a video for his brother-in-law whom he wanted to show the crematorium that's on this property. Apparently, it gets pretty creepy once it's dark, and he wanted to show him why he doesn't like patrolling this area. Now, for those who don't know, a crematorium is a place where the deceased are cremated.
Having to explain a crematorium to anybody is insane.
And essentially reduced to ashes. These remains are then put inside urns, which the families then keep. But knowing what goes on back here only makes what was captured that much more unsettling. As the guard records this video, he captures this.
They turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now.
So I can't even like give this person shit because 1,000% I'm working at a place that has a crematorium. I'm gonna think it's haunted. Like, I'm gonna think there's some sketchy shit happening. It's just human nature. Let me try what Lazy said. So you press
Video, he
that
captures
does work.
this.
They turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now. I'm going to walk you through
Have you played Mortuary Assistant? No. And I have no interest in playing it. That game looks terrifying. I watched Jacksepticeye play it.
I'm going to walk you through
Look at that broom. That broom's fucked up.
I have a friend that works that he would could see and hear things coming from these furnaces when they're burning the bodies. So when I'm walking through here, they usually put the urns out to send to the families. So when I'm walking here at night, I walk right by these urns that they put on these tables here. And then I come down, freaking out.
Listen, don't label yourself a horror VTuber if you aren't gonna do horror. Listen, I do horror, okay? But I do indie horror. I do like Chilla's art. I do like Puppet Combo. Fears to Fathom. I don't know, I probably could fucking do Mortuary Assistant. It probably would give me high blood pressure the whole time. Don't ... me. I would just, you know what? No, I think you're right. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, I guess Mortuary Assistant could fall into that. Walrus, does that make you feel good? Making that, terrible pun? Does that make you happy? I guess this is how he earns his keep. Most horror games are indie horror. I would disagree with that. Because I think of games like Dead Space. Like that's not indie horror. Unless I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like Dead Space is not indie. The response is how I reduced stress. That's funny. Clearly at this point, anything besides Resident Evil and Silent Hill are indie horror. If we mean new games. What about Visage? I don't feel like Visage is indie. I guess I just mean like the vibe of like Chilla's art. You know, like Chilla's art has like a very like analog horror vibe to it. Visage is indie. I disagree. Visage is the scariest game. It does change based on vibes. I get to decide if it's indie if I think it's analog enough. Or easy enough. Or if it's too hard, it's immediately not indie. Damn it. Which one is moving? So like, what even is like let's just for a second, let's talk about this. You're a ghost. You're haunting a mortuary. And of all the options you have at your disposal, you're gonna take one of the urns and open it up like you're trying to escape the urn? Like, there's way spookier things we could do. Oh no, chat, what do you think? That definitely looked like there was somebody behind that. Are we gonna agree with that, chat? Ghost huntings make no sense in general, yeah. Like, there's definitely a person back there. I get fucked with this. I can't even watch it. Alright, nope. That's enough spooky. Spooky just makes me mad. What else we got queued up? PlayStation messages.
Man, what's good, chat? I ain't even late. 1 to 10. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back.
I love queso.
Okay, there was a fork. Don't say fork. Captain Fat Sparrow! Your name is Death by Ginger 15, buddy. What is that supposed to mean? Yo!
Oh, it's. I was like, where is he seeing it? I see it up there. Bro's not live. Aw, that's a sweet message.
Yo, thank you so much for that beautiful message. I hope you did too, man. Thank you so much.
SpongeBob Burger Pants.
Excuse me, what? I'm already skinny.
Oh my gosh.
A grater of cheese. I don't even eat cheese.
He said I don't even eat cheese.
Yes, it does.
Get your game faces on, because it's time for the face-off. I need one person from each family to join me up front.
Let's go.
Give me my
Lock
fridge
in.
back.
Let's go!
Kraton, God of Weight.
Yes,
That's
I am.
not light. Bro shops at Urban Camp Fitters. That's
Kraton.
hilarious. Alright guys, my melatonin is doing its job, so we're gonna raid somebody. I had fun though, and it was cool to talk about everyone's opinions on things. Let me know if you want me to do more React videos. We can definitely kind of go into a couple different genres. Play with some stuff. I feel like sometimes my opinions are very not based, you know? And I'm aware of that, so I do get nervous like talking about this sometimes, because things I feel super strongly on, I'm good with, but things that I don't, I'm just not good with defending myself on them. That being said, Visage is not a indie game, so yeah. Alright guys, who's online? We wanna raid. I don't know what that screen shows. It makes me nervous, so let me move it. And let's go back to Twitch. Okay, so we got some options. I think I want to do... I think I want to do one true... Or is one True King who I did last time? I feel like it is. So let's do... Hiri Kageru. Let's do them. Which, for people who don't know, this is Mara. He did a rebranding.
What's a hug?
Alright. And then raid. I don't know how to spell this name. Hold on. K-I-R-I. K-I-R-I. K-A-G-E-R-O-U.
It was a mercy killing.
Kagerou. V2.
But no muscle.
Hello, Nora. How you been? It has been
Oh shit, is he talking
a
to me?
while. How you doing?
Oh yeah, he has that thing where you can tell when I'm on his shit.
Ping just went to shit. What the hell?
Alright guys, love y'all. Mean it. Have a good night.
Who wants a hug?